An Italian cruise ship rejected by Thailand and Malaysia over COVID-19 fears will dock in Singapore as scheduled tomorrow. Authorities say they are taking precautionary measures for passengers who will be disembarking.
The Costa Fortuna first departed Singapore about 2 weeks ago. About 2,000 people were on board, including dozens of Italians. It arrived in Phuket on Friday.
But it was turned away even though the cruise operator said there were no suspected cases amongst passengers and crew. But Thai officials said the 64 Italians on board had been in Italy over the past 14 days, and that's against Thailand's new travel restrictions.
After being denied entry, the ship then sailed to Penang on Saturday. But again, it was refused entry, as Malaysia had banned all cruise ships.
So now the vessel is heading back to Singapore.
The Costa Fortuna's operator has also cancelled its original plan to leave Singapore again tomorrow, due to what it describes as restrictive measures applied by ports on the ship's itinerary. Ahmad Khan has more.
Behind me is the Marina Bay Cruise Center, where Costa Fortuna is due to dock on Tuesday. The ship, which carries about 2,000 people, including dozens of Italians, was turned away from Phuket and Penang last week. The Maritime and Port Authority and the Singapore Tourism Board said in a joint statement that all of its passengers had earlier embarked from Singapore and had completed pre-embarkation checks. These include looking into their travel history and temperature screenings. The ship last departed Singapore last Tuesday, and on its part, it has declared that none of its passengers on board is showing symptoms of fever or respiratory illness. The doctor on the ship will check passengers and crew to ensure they are healthy before they disembark here. And those entering Singapore must still go through temperature screening as a precautionary measure. And in addition, those showing fever or other respiratory illness symptoms but do not meet the Health Ministry's clinical case definition may be required to undergo a COVID-19 swab test. Now, if they refuse to take the swab test, they won't be allowed to enter the country. The authorities have stressed that this is a scheduled call by the ship and that cruise terminals here remain open to scheduled cruise calls out of Singapore. Unscheduled calls have been disallowed since the 24th of February.